So I'm having a chat with Emma Hunter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You're here at Truck Festival.
Yes.
How's your day been so far?
It's been amazing. Yeah, we've just come off stage, so I think we're still very excited about it.
Good set?
Yeah, it went really well. I tried really hard not to talk a lot because we only had half an hour.
Yeah.
So I think I managed it.
Crammed everything in.
Shoved it all in. It was like, just do the songs, Emma, and don't talk about stuff and no dad jokes. Yeah.
Dad jokes are the best, though. I'm sure people would have loved it if you put some of those in.
I know. If we'd have had longer, there would have been some more dad jokes.
Is that what you normally do?
Apparently, I just get this weird persona in between songs where I become a Muppet that says really bad jokes.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, once you finish here, what's the plan next for you? Where are you heading off to? What are you doing?
Well, I definitely need to do some listening to Khalees. Really excited about Sam Fender.
Yeah.
And am I allowed to say to consume some cider?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
I've just been on the water before singing, so now I'm allowed.
Good. And people will want to see you live because some people who are watching this probably missed your set today. So where are you going to be touring next? What's the plan?
So we're having like a mini break to just sort of work on our next EP. At the moment, we've got gigs lined up in Oxford in the autumn.
Yeah.
But we are hoping to do a tour as well. We just need to kind of finalise when we're doing that. So if you check out Emma Hunter Music on Instagram, you'll find out.
Yeah, good. And how much is done of this new EP? Have you started it yet? Have you got demos for it?
No, there are demos. It's one of those things where you think you're nearly there and then you go, oh, can we just put a trumpet on it? So we're not far off. We've got one song where I decided that I didn't like the synth sounds that I had, so it's definitely there. It exists. It just needs a bit more work. And we've already released "Love Is Not a Choice," which came out a couple of weeks ago.
Tell us a bit more about that.
So that is just sort of my love song to the queer community, and it's all about self-acceptance and that love is love and that people should be free to love who they want to. So that's what that's about, really.
Good. And when you step foot into a studio, you've obviously got the demos done. You kind of have an idea of what you're going to do. But how does it go from a demo to the finished song?
We work with an amazing producer called Jimmytherington, who he really gets the kind of sound that we're after. So I think I have a really clear idea in my head of how I want it to sound.
Yeah.
And then it's always about carrying on and maintaining that process, and being prepared to ditch things if it's not quite right and do it again. So it costs a fortune, but it's worth it to get the right thing. Yeah,
no, for sure. And what has happened in the past in the studio that really just has not worked for you?
We recorded one song called "Guilty," and I think there was just something about it where it just wasn't quite ready. We'd had a bit of a flood in the studio at the time where a toilet had literally erupted all over the room where the drums were.
Nice.
In the middle of one of our takes. So, not what you want really.
No.
And Tom Bruce, the amazing drummer of Emma Hunter, got a plastic bag, shoved his hand in, pulled out the blockage, and we carried on. But, it just wasn't quite right. It wasn't the right vibe for our music, so we just needed to change the tempo of it and change what we were doing. So that if ever we've had a problem, it's been that there's just not been something quite right about the tempo, and we felt the need to fiddle around with it.
And then obviously with a track like that, do you then keep working on it, or have there been times where you've got a demo and you've worked on it and it's just not going to work at all? So
with that one, we just binned it and redid it. Definitely. You've got to know when to I am the most determined person on the planet, but sometimes you have to learn when to go, no, it sounds crap, and just, redo it.
Yeah. And I'd like to know, how did you kind of get into music to do this in the first place, and what was it about you to get the band around you?
So we are really lucky that we are basically the winners of the Night Shift. So Night Shift magazine from Oxford chose 2 performers to play at Truck. So we entered into the competition, but Night Shift chose for us to play, which is why we ended up on the main stage. Thanks, Ronan! But it's been like I have played here before in a previous existence wearing a cat suit, which was a really bad idea when you're nervous. So we've just been slogging away, and it felt like a really amazing thing to do.
And does winning the competition and playing Main Stage Truck Festival now kind of kickstart everything for you, or do you think it's just going to be one of those things that is like a highlight, and then you're going to drop back down to kind of where you were before climbing the ladder again?
I think that question is unanswerable in the next 5 minutes. I mean, if someone was to come up to us and go, guys, I mean, if Sam Fender wants us to come on tour with him, I think our music would really fit with his. That's great. So I guess it depends. It could be like the start of a whole other chapter, or it could be, this is as good as it gets. Who knows?
Let's hope not, anyway.
Let's hope not.
You'll be back, don't worry.
I hope so.
Well, Emma, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.